Hello, Julia Hartstein here again. I just wanted to talk about a little bit how I got into Pilates. I am again trained by Romana Krausanowska, Joseph Pilates' protege, and Romana's daughter, Shari Mejia Santo. I trained with them in the certifying studio in Manhattan. It was known as Drago's Gymnasium at the time, and it later became True Pilates New York, which is now not existent anymore, but a lot of the teachers still teach in Manhattan. I got into Pilates because I have a BA in dance from Queens College in Flushing, New York, and I decided, well, I want to do something so I can make money while I dance. And we learned a whole bunch of different body techniques: Alexander, Traeger, Feldenkrais, Pilates. And I was actually on the the verge of picking either Pilates or Feldenkrais. I picked Pilates because the certification process wasn't as long. Feldenkrais was 4 years. Pilates was, about a year, depending, because you had to do 600 hours. And it was more well known. Feldenkrais people, even if you said Feldenkrais now, people don't realize what that is. So that being said, I did that and I was like, okay, well, I'll do this. Found Romana. Of course, my teacher's like, if you're going to do Pilates, this is the place you go. And I wound up getting into the program. It was either, at the time, Romana was still with Sean Gallagher, who was a physical therapist they were working together for a while with the certification program. As I was going through the program, Romana was leaving Sean. So Romana was very much the artist, you're not going to tell me no. And I think he told her no, and that wasn't good for her. So that's when I went through the program 20 years ago. And so that is where I have learned, trained. I taught there for 6 years after I got certified, and it was a world famous studio. All the teachers from around the world who were trained by Romana would always come back to that studio at some point, teach, have a session. So you always got to see a lot of people having, higher level teachers having sessions with Romana. And so you got to see a lot of the well-known Pilates people in the world there. And so that is how I got into Pilates. I loved it so much. I didn't really realize how much I was going to fall in love with it. I just kind of did it thinking, oh, this is something along the lines of what I do, and I can dance. And I wound up abandoning dance, as it wasn't really going to be a career for me anyway. I didn't start dancing formally until later in life. I'd always danced all my life, but I didn't have formal training. When I was young, I'm an only child from Queens, New York. There wasn't that kind of money to send me to dance school. So, I didn't know how to point my feet or plie, which is bend your knees when you come out of a jump. So those kind of things I learned more as an adult form, where so many people, so many dancers had learned that at such a young age. So I got into my Pilates, and that's how I got there. And I love what I do. I think it's an amazing technique. I think the core of the work and the original technique is the most amazing work. There are some amazing teachers around the world who teach, and I am one of them. I would give that to myself. I am amazing. I tell my clients I have X-ray vision, and I think that's the intuitive nature, and that's something that I will go into eventually with my spiritual healing, right? I am trained by Romana and Shari, who taught intuitively. It's part of one of the 5 parts of the mind that they taught. They are so intuitive when they teach. And being with them, that's what you learned. So it's very interesting too how I learned that, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying it, and then knowing that I was going to be a healer, and I was called to that as well, because I always felt I was a better healer than a teacher. And it turned out, and I had somebody I didn't even know say it to me, that you must be a really good teacher if you think you're a healer. So there's that as well. And then comes along Pat Longo, and I am a student, and well, it's about my Pilates now going into the spiritual healing, which I believe I'm called to help make that come together. I believe Pilates is Pilates, and that it should be that way. And it's just an enhancement on the intuitive nature of what I learned from Romana and Shari. So I'm sharing that with you. I hope you enjoy. I hope to see you around, and hopefully we can learn some Pilates together. And many blessings. Love you.